That's stupid, guys.
Y'all already see this? Y'all see this, right? Weebra is already dissing me in the stream. That's crazy.
How about you transform into someone who can get some bitches, monkey?
That's for Weebra right there. That's for Weebra. No, yeah, the hate is crazy. He just stay hating.
You're not that guy, pal. Trust me. You're not that guy.
But what is up to everybody that's in chat currently? Highly appreciate everybody for coming through right now. As usual, I gotta do a few shout outs for the people that came in the chat already. Shout out to my boy Cass, as always. Shout out to Kiwi Kitty. Shout out to DB Fan 001. Shout out to Owen for the Prime sub.
Are you dead ass, Ed Bowen?
Yes, sir. Shout out to my boy Nelson. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Weebra.
Weird, buddy. You're weird.
He's just mad because he got served in him and Prom's beef.
Give it here.
Oh wait, no, not that one. Not that one. Shout out to my boy Anime Cujo. Yes, sir. Emma-chan. Yes, sir. Obscure Hours. Yes, sir. I'm just being honest. I need a sound that says, I'm just saying how I feel, man. This for weird, bro.
Brother, this guy stinks!
This for weird, bro. This is why you wasn't included in that Weed the Family tweet or Instagram post or whatever. That's why you wasn't included.
Get the hell out! Get out!
That's stupid, guys.
What do you mean by that?
I'm just saying. What up, East Coast manga? Oh man, come on. W manga tuber. W manga tuber. Yes, sir. It's all good, Chase. Just put your hair blockers on. You right. You right. I don't even know what Weebra even talking about, dog. This is the tune out Weebra right here. These are Master Roshi shades, the Nasty Man shades. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Man, where the energy at? Falling asleep. Man, shut up.
You're not that guy, pal. Trust me. You're not that guy.
Trust me, you wasn't, because we the family didn't include you in that post. I'm just saying, you was riding the glizzy and you didn't get included in that post. That's crazy. I had never seen anybody else in the community. I ain't never seen. I'm not saying that nobody's ever done it, but I ain't never seen anybody ride for that group of people, whatever they do on YouTube, but you, weird, bruh. And the funny part is, they didn't include you in that post.
How about you transform into someone who can get some bitches, monkey?
No, that's crazy. That's crazy.
Broly, look! Niggas be wildin'!
Cupcake, why am I eating the cupcake this early? Why am I eating the...
Well, I was actually coming out here to pick up a cupcake and then go back home.
Why am I eating the cupcake so early? The cupcake shades?
That's stupid, guys. Stop it. Y'all quit playing. Quit playing.
Y'all don't like me. You're right. We need more. The amount of sounds you have on your soundboard is crazy. Oh, I got a lot. Look, they're in the folders. I even got, look, see?
Give it to me! Give it to me! Give it to me! Give it to me! Just give it! Damn!
I'm just saying. Man, but shout out to everybody in the chat right now, except for Weird, bro. Shout out to everybody in the chat right now. Have you ever sweared? Well, I didn't know if it was a swear word, yes, but I don't swear knowingly. I don't swear knowingly. Dang, ad sub ran out. Man, go ahead, connect to Amazon Prime. Connect to Amazon Prime, you get the free sub. I'm just saying, that's how we do. How we do over here. But shout out to everybody in the chat. Did my... No, that video ain't go up today. I wanted to watch this one video today on chat, right? Of I fell out of love with the MCU, and it's a video essay. It's only 8 minutes long. I wanted to check it out because I want to see what this guy's critique is. I don't know, it randomly came up on my feed, but I'm kind of in agreement with it. I used to be a hardcore fan of the MCU, back when it initially started with Iron Man. Oh, I got Iron Man on 4K on Blu-ray. I've owned Iron Man like 2 or 3 times on Blu-ray. One of my favorite movies of all time, Iron Man 1. I'm not a movie buff. I'm not a film buff. I'm not an expert on films. I like what I like. Y'all know that. So, I do want to check out this video because it says, but it has She-Hulk on the cover, which I need to talk to Otaku in training because he's been ragging on She-Hulk a lot lately. And I'm like, where all the hate coming from for She-Hulk? It's funny because this is the only Disney Plus show that I'm actually interested in. That's the craziest part about it. It's the only Disney Plus show that I'm interested in. I was interested in Moon Knight until I saw some of that CGI. That ish looked horrible. The She-Hulk don't look the greatest, but Moon Knight was throwing hands. And I don't want to see horrible CGI with throwing hands. You get what I'm saying? She-Hulk is passable because I don't look at it as a serious action series. I see it more as like a comedy type of drama type thing. A comedy superhero drama type thing. You know what I'm saying? But man, She-Hulk was the only one I was interested in. I wasn't interested in WandaVision, even though I knew it tied in with Doctor Strange 2. Wasn't interested in Moon Knight. Wasn't interested in Miss Marvel. I'm a bit interested in Loki. I might check out Loki, especially since Kang is in there. And we know the Kang Dynasty. Kang Dynasty. And it's a black man. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I wanted to see what this is about. I wanted to see how well this guy was going to articulate his points. And, well, let's just go ahead and watch it. Hopefully this video does not get demonetized YouTube, please, because this will be going on the Clips channel. Subscribe to Read the Dark Side if you haven't already. But yeah, I'll see what this video is about, because obviously you guys know I fell out of love with the MCU. Let's get to it.
I'm back. Not that I ever left, but because I haven't spat out my opinion on something Marvel-related in a very long time. Video essays were my thing. I lived, breathed.
That's what I'm saying, Sam. I think She-Hulk has been fun. It's been fun. We gotta talk to Otaku in training. He just does not like She-Hulk. He has a bone to pick with She-Hulk. He even said that he was hate watching it. I'm like, hate watching this. Crazy. Otaku in training, if you in here, get on the VC right now so we can have this discussion.
On video essays, but then I ran out of things to say. I ran out of things to do, to talk about. I said my piece. I said everything I wanted to say. I will admit though, I am planning a deep dive into every single Spider-Man movie to talk from the heart about why they worked and why they didn't work for me. But apart from that, video essays were dead to me, gone forever, until now. The MCU, Phase 4, the multiverse saga has reawoken the beast inside me, reignited the flame, the passion
little to
to
no
speak
points
about
in the rest
something
of the
I
phase so
care
far.
or
Okay, so skip it. Cool,
so much
thanks.
about. I need to say something. I need to let the world know that I fell out of love with the MCU.
Same.
The Marvel Cinematic Universe has been there since I was merely 5 years old with Iron Man 1. It has grown with me.
Merely 5 years old? That means I'm a geezer. This came out when I was like a preteen.
Till I was 16 watching Avengers Endgame and then COVID.
16 watching Endgame is crazy. Endgame came out like what, 3-4 years ago? No, it's crazy. I was in my 20s. I was able to drink by the time that happened. That's what I'm saying, Sam. 16? Oh man, I'm listening to a little kid talk about this now.
Nothing for
this guy ain't even old enough to drink. He talking about he felt
much deserved break.
He talking about he fell in love with MCU. This boy barely even got his own high school diploma. You need to fall in love with them grades, sir. Fall in love with that homework, sir. What are you doing talking about the MCU? This for grown folks.
How about you transform into someone who can get some bitches, monkey?
What is this little kid doing talking about the MCU? I want to see his point still, but hey. I was 10 when I watched Endgame. Oh man! Oh my back! Y'all making me feel so old. This way I can barely remember his time with the MCU because he was almost a toddler. Facts. I wasn't alive when Iron Man 1 came out, bro.
What do you mean by that?
Fucking wait, boy. Boy, ain't no way, boy.
My back.
Boy, ain't no way, boy. Boy, ain't no way.
Y'all are killing me right now. But I'll pop my tickets in my office of the same job I'm at. Sam, let's keep going, man.
It was time for the MCU to calm down, take a rest, and go again. Then Phase 4 was announced. Bang, bang, bang. Project after project. This is great. We're getting so much more MCU than we've ever had before. This is going to be awesome. or so we thought. We thought Phase 4 was going to be the best of them all, the most world-building, character-expansive of them all, and to some degree, it is. We have Moon Knight from the UK, we have She-Hulk, cousin of Bruce Banner, we have the story of the Eternals, we have a long-overdue Black Widow movie. Great, right? The comic book style of multiple stories that fit into the same...
Did any of y'all like the Black Widow movie? I thought that movie was cheeks. That movie was trash.
World really excited me when it was first announced. I love the idea of expanding on characters that we have never seen before on screen, characters like She-Hulk and Moon Knight. But let me ask you a question. Where is their place in all this? Where is their place in the story? And thus this brings me on to my first point of 3 as to why the MCU is failing in my eyes. Not streamlining. You know what the MCU was from phases 1 to 3? It was a continuous story where every character, every film had its purpose. Everything tied together with a nice little...
Okay, so if he's about to go on that point that I think he's about to go on this point, I don't like this point that he's about to make, right? I hate this point of... I don't like this whole notion and narrative that people are trying to spin like Phase 4. Phase 4 just seems very aimless, very clueless. It doesn't know what it's trying to do. I feel like that's what Phase 1 was at a point because it was setting up the whole story for Thanos. We didn't know Thanos was going to be the big bad at the beginning of Iron Man 1. We didn't know that. We were still getting on the part of the Avengers actually assembling and actually maybe being a thing by the end of Iron Man 1. We wasn't sure, but that was just amazing when we first heard that because I knew what the Avengers was at that age. But for them to say like, oh, this just seems very aimless. I hate the narrative that they're doing that with Phase 4. I just hate, the one problem I have with Phase 4 currently is that a lot of the things to me, a lot of the concepts that they're showing me aren't interesting enough to keep me engaged, one. Secondly, there doesn't seem to be a cut and clear captain of the team. Like, at least we knew with Iron Man and Captain America, these guys were leaders. And we knew that, okay, if there's going to be a team of Avengers, a team of superheroes, the thing with Iron Man and Captain America, we knew that those were leaders. And with the Avengers coming through, we already knew that the Avengers team was led by either Captain America or Iron Man. Either or. At least we have two guys who are leaders, who are captains of this whole team. With this new lineup of heroes, especially when they're doing these heroes like Shang-Chi, the Eternals, some pretty non-mainstream heroes in my opinion. Unlike the Guardians of the Galaxy, these are like mini movies where we're getting characters who aren't really mainstream to the public. They're not a Captain America, they're not an Iron Man, they're not a Black Panther, they're not a Spider-Man, they're not an Incredible Hulk, they're not a Thor. They're not mainline characters that just the general public of people who consume superhero content or media will know these characters. Shang-Chi, let's be real, who knew about him? The Eternals, who knew about them? I'm just saying. That's just how I feel. True, but Phase 1 still had good movies. We get Eternals and Black Widow, and the big names now are Thor, Doctor Strange, and Spidey. Sadly. But I think Spidey's going to do his own thing, so he's not even going to be involved in Avengers movies. At least I hope not. Not for a while. Like, we're really not giving MCU a break and letting it set up. People get mad that they ain't know what the end game is when we literally just in the beginning phase, something that will be much grander compared to previous phases. I get that's going to be bigger cast because we have characters like Kang the Conqueror, who I want to see how his setup, how his design is going to look later on, especially with the new Avengers movies. We still got Secret Wars to set up. We still got Doctor Doom. We potentially Magneto coming into the foray, right? We got Galactus, the Silver Surfer storyline. We got so many storylines to really tackle with the MCU. But the thing is, are people not going to get burnt out before we tackle those things? That's the thing. But I feel like MCU is generally always going to make money because it's a superhero movie blockbuster. Like, they're always going to make money in the theaters. It's just that for the hardcore fans, for the real fans, for the people who are really enjoying these movies and actually going out to buy the merch and stuff like that, or they're still going to support it heavily as it was in the first three phases down the line, like they are. Like, are they going to support these new phases like they did phase 1 through 3? I feel like the thing with phase 1 through 3, it was new. It was a magical experience, and we were literally growing up with these characters. Now that we got a new set of characters, it's like moving from elementary to high school. Now we're in the college to graduate school. You get what I'm saying? Like, it's not the same. We're not in the same ballpark now. I hope I'm articulating this well. Oh, well, there's also going to be 2 separate teams in, is my guess. Because of the split in Avengers 1 handling Kane, one handling something else. I'm very curious to see where this goes, Cass, because that's 2 Avengers movies back to back. That is scary for me, because Avengers ain't no name to play with when it comes to the movies. Only the Ultron is the weakest Avengers movie, but Avengers ain't no name to play with when it comes to those Avenger movies.
Bow placed on top. Every character had their role to play. Every film had their purpose in the grander story. From Iron Man to Cap to Thor and even the Guardians of the Galaxy, in the end, they all mattered. And now we have the multiverse saga in phase 4. We have so many new and potentially exciting characters than ever before. But how many of them matter? How many of them will matter in the grand scheme, in the multiverse saga? Everything is building up to Secret Wars and the Kang Dynasty. But how many of them will show up? Can show up? Sure, for characters that don't matter, you could cameo them, but what matters isn't a cameo. It's a reason. If a character does not have a significant purpose for the story, they should not appear. Simple as that. But the MCU continually thinks that they have to show that this is a connected cinematic universe every 5 seconds. And all of these characters that are now a part of the cinematic universe, what's their purpose? How will Moon Knight be involved with Kang the Conqueror? How will Daredevil go toe-to-toe with some of the most overpowered villains of the MCU in Secret Wars? How will Captain America possibly lead a team that is so much more expansive and powerful than himself? Well, I guess you could say they just won't show up. They'll stay in their little corner of the universe with their own stories. But then I ask the question, what's the point? What is the point of making all of these projects, bringing in all of these characters if they don't matter to the overarching narrative of the MCU? Creating stuff for the sake with no purpose is going to cause more harm than good. Not only does it create no purpose for...
Yeah, that's why I'm thinking Spider-Man's still going to be a big part of the MCU going forward. And I mean, Miles is already confirmed in the universe, so it makes sense. Is he complaining about it being connected, but also about it not being connected enough right now? Yeah, he's kind of contradicting himself because he's like, Marvel's always going to remind you that all these movies are connected somehow. He's like, these characters really don't play any type of matter in the grand scheme of things. And I kind of see what he's saying. He is contradicting himself a bit, but I do see what he's saying, Kaz. I guess he's saying, like, if these movies were to focus more on the actual characters and focus on the universe stuff later, maybe they'd be better movies. But also, this is already a lived-in universe where it's going to be very hard for you to have a solo movie and then not be connected with none of the events that's happened previously or currently happening right now, especially when you're trying to build an even grander universe by having these TV shows run in the same universe while these movies are happening.
For them in the overall scheme, but because of my second point, oversaturation. I will admit, I was in denial.
Yep.
Shut the hell up!
Same thing I'm saying.
2 years ago. I thought the MCU would at its best after Endgame, and there was no slowing down for it anytime soon. But the MCU has continually pumped out project after project, and I'm tired. I am so tired. I cannot be bothered to watch every single MCU show and every single MCU movie when I know that they don't matter. When there is so many of one particular thing, it becomes a chore to watch it. I've seen 2 episodes of Moon Knight and I wasn't compelled to come back. I've seen 2 episodes of Miss Marvel and I like the vibe, but at the moment, I'm not compelled to come back. I've seen 1 episode of She-Hulk. I like how it's almost embracing the MCU's new wacky comedic nature and is something that seems very self-aware. But will I watch episode 2? I don't know yet. Say I have a short attention span, say I don't understand the brilliance, but I never had this issue with the first 3 phases. I could watch the first Iron Man all the way.
Yeah, but this is different though. With the first 3 phases, this is something new. We're introduced to newer characters that a lot of people really didn't know of like that. So I don't like this argument that he's going with, because I guess it's oversaturated now, but back then it wasn't oversaturated. We only had the movies to go off of. Yeah, we had the Netflix shows, but they were really super connected to the MCU to where it was like, oh, you have to watch this content to get this content. No, if you watch the MCU, you watch Daredevil, you'll get it. If you don't watch the MCU, but you watch Daredevil, you'll still generally get what the concepts and all that stuff is. They weren't tied together, like, tightly, is what I'm trying to say. With all these newer shows, they're tied together because they're trying to expound on more characters that were either introduced or might be introduced into the movies, that were introduced from the movies. I like this point that he's going at, and plus it was way less content back then. We were focused way more on like 3 to 4 characters. We had Iron Man, we had Thor, we had Captain America. These characters literally have trilogies within those 3 phases. Yeah, they introduced new characters like Black Panther, Ant-Man, Spider-Man, characters that we're really familiar with. Maybe it's the fatigue that is going through all this, but I don't like that point that he's trying to make. Man's got TikTok brain.
In-game a million times over. It's a great story, with purpose, with the right amount of solo stories and character building over the right amount of time. It took them 10 years to make the Infinity Saga. It's taking them a measly 5 to make the Multiverse Saga. Let that sink in. With 3 phases packed to the brim, with multiple shows and even more movies than the first 3 phases. It doesn't feel passionate anymore. It doesn't feel like it's being tended with care. It feels like a rush to put out new content because the corporate demands it. I don't blame Kevin Feige, I don't blame the directors, the actors, and certainly I do not blame the VFX artists. But I blame Disney. I could have this all wrong, but from my perspective, it seems like Disney saw the success of the Infinity Saga and then thought that they needed more of that. They need the next Infinity Saga to come out in 5 years instead of 10, with maximum profits. But the artists and everyone working on those films are being overworked, even going on record to say that their teams get depressed when they see a new high-end Marvel film get announced, such as the Kang Dynasty and, of course, Avengers Secret Wars. I guess what I'm trying to say is that the MCU has developed a reputation, developed a habit of clearly inviting money instead of passion. Yeah, at some point it'd be great to see all of these characters on screen that we're getting at the moment, but for the story they want to tell, are all of them necessary? Are all of these characters necessary to tell the story of the Multiverse Saga, of Kang the Conqueror, of the Avengers defeating their most powerful threat yet? I don't think so. My problems will never be heard by Disney. Heck, this video might not even scratch past 1,000 views, who knows? But I'm passionate to say my piece once again, so I have. I love the MCU. But for how much longer? I don't know.
Overall, I think that was a pretty cool video. I didn't agree with some points, but me and him probably are going to agree to disagree. But yeah, that video was actually pretty interesting. I kind of want to see more Think Piece videos like this, react to them on the Twitch streams. Ever since Disney, MCU just feels like a money machine with no love, squeezing out as much as possible. When did Disney acquire the MCU? When did Disney acquire the MCU? You're just saying more because they're starting to be loud about MCU changing from what they like to something what more people like. Yeah, but I think the MCU was made mainstream. It was never like an inclusive thing. The MCU was made mainstream. For people who think it was only for comic book fans that only thought MCU was just for them, what the? I'm hyped for Blade, to be honest. I will go see that in theaters if it's a movie and not a show. If it's a movie and not a show, I will go see that in theaters.